there, it's Trevor at NSM Jukebox Repairs. We quite often get asked what the common problems are with a vinyl jukebox. I thought I'd put together this video just to go through some of the more common issues that you might come across, whether you're buying one privately or whether you're buying a jukebox fully refurbished. These are some of the things that you need to look out for. Obviously the first thing to have a look for is the overall cosmetic condition of the jukebox itself. So in the keypad, signs of dirt and grime. Do the speaker grills need any form of powder coating? You know, are they rusty? And especially at the bottom grills as well. This particular model, the NSM City 2, can have cracks in the corners here. Now that's caused by the gas struts. Gas struts may fail and the lid will drop down. So just have a quick look on the corners of the actual door themselves just to make sure that there aren't any cracks in there. Of course they can be rectified if there are cracks, but it just makes things a little bit more difficult. The other thing to have a look for is the speakers. Now, not all vinyl jukeboxes have sort of foam speakers. Some of them do have paper, so it might not be applicable to all models, but on a City 2, what you need to be looking for is if you shine a torch through the front grille, then you may see that the foams have deteriorated, like this example here. You're looking for a gap obviously between the cone and the actual metal framework itself. If that is the case, then they will need refurbishing. So again, just shine a torch through the front grille there just to make sure that the speaker foams are intact. Moving inside the jukebox, if you just lift the lid, again check the carriage, check the operation of the carriage, you know, make sure you play an A side, play a B side, check the speed to make sure that it's working as it should do and the speed is good, and again that it does move over to play a B side. A common problem with the carriages is a lubrication issue, so the lubricants do tend to dry up and that inhibits the operation of the carriage, so just check that as well. And again, just check to see whether it's fairly clean. You know, after 40 years you expect there to be some dirt and dust, but as long as it's operating as it should, then that's good. The other thing to have a quick look for is this big silver box back here is the central control unit. I've got an example just over here for you to have a look at. Now, if you open this front cover just here, what you'll see is the central control unit. Just make sure, now some of these centrals, they have 4 LEDs down this left hand side, some of them have 2. Just make sure that all the LEDs are alight on the left hand side that you can see, and 2 LEDs at the top to make sure that those are LEDs are lit as well. Again, if they're not, then it does suggest that there's a problem with the central control unit. The other thing just to have a quick look for on here as well is you'll notice a small switch here which says stereo at the top and mono at the bottom. If you just make sure that if both channels are working, that this isn't switched down into the mono position. If it's switched down into the mono position, it could be hiding a problem, either with the carriage or again with the central control unit. So that's just one important thing to check, that it is in the stereo position and both channels are working on the jukebox as well. Another thing to check is just the volume control. So if you come around the back of the jukebox, the volume control, if it's original, should be mounted in this position here. Sometimes they're inside the jukebox for people's convenience. When you're adjusting the volume on the sliders, just make sure that both channels are working independently again, that both channels are coming up. The other thing to make sure of is when you're adjusting the volume that there is good throw on the volume. So when you're adjusting it, if it's very crackly, again that could indicate that there's an issue with the volume control and it may well need replacing. So as long as they're moving, you know, there's a good response from the volume control as well. Another thing to look at is the display as well. So just make sure that when you're making a selection on the keypad that all the display is working and that no numbers are missing as well. It can be quite a simple fix that, however, you know, you just want to make sure that the display is working as it should. Hopefully this video has given you a small insight into what to look for on common problems on the jukebox. Of course, if you do have any questions about a jukebox that, you know, you're purchasing from us or elsewhere, we'll always be happy to help you.